Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. This article comes to you guys from the Motley Fool. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys could check it out. So now that it's been a few days since the AT&T Lumen deal was announced, everyone got to digest the news, brainstorm, think about it. So I wanted to do a recap. And I got to say, this was one of the smartest moves, plays, purchases that AT&T could have made. And the deal in terms of spend and money, it's a bargain. They got it for very, very cheap. So AT&T got this deal for $5.75 billion. Now, one of the key points, key takeaways, key factors that I want to jump into right away, AT&T will offload some capital spending requirements by seeking an equity partner for new assets. That's major. So AT&T is not going into this entirely alone. So that means they remain financially disciplined, and it allows them further flexibility to get into other open access deals if needed. And at the same time, they also have opportunity, which I mean, if I'm the fiber company, right? If I'm Lumen, I would have probably taken that into consideration. But this will essentially get them additional wireless share. I've said this in many videos, and I'll say it again. This is almost like AT&T buying wireless share, even though they didn't. But this is guaranteed to grow them the wireless business because of the numbers that they shared with us at the Analyst Day. 40% penetration. So you see that here as one of the key points. The company has a big opportunity to grow the penetration rate and bundle its wireless service. So today, Lumen passes 4 million homes. AT&T wants to get that to 10 very quickly. So that's an additional 6 million homes that they're going to have to build out. But they're going to seek an equity partner. So they're not going to spend all this money alone. They're going to split it with another entity, whoever that may be. So I'll say that in this video, I've been speaking with a lot of people behind the scenes, and I think whoever has the largest fiber network in the United States is going to end up being the winner, so to speak, right? I think fiber is going to matter more and more and more in the future, and I'm talking like 20, 30 years, than anything else, right? Fiber to the prem, and then fiber to the cell. And then you hook up all your fiber assets to small cells, CRAN, towers, whatever it may be. And whoever has that largest asset is going to end up being the winner, in my view, because if you look at the market, the way it's structured, right, it's saturated in wireless. You have everybody fighting for value customers, cheaper price, right? And that, in many ways, now the MVNOs that the carriers have purchased, right, are they really still MVNOs, right? That's being questioned. Are they pretty much just prepaid at this point because the carriers are buying up all these mobile network virtual operators, right? So, right, that can be debated in different videos if MVNOs are still MVNOs if they're owned by the carriers. But what the carriers are doing, they're subsidizing certain costs by, really competing in the value segment, right? Some money is better than no money, right? I said that in other videos. If you're looking at retention offers and plays and discounts, one person told me a long, long time ago that if you're in the business and you're losing a customer, try and keep them because some money is better than no money. So that's why churn is very important. And I think the bundling and the effectiveness of the convergence still has not yet been recognized as much as it should be. So AT&T, I think, has been the best at really pushing that narrative that, hey, the wireless market is saturated. We're going to converge. We're just going to converge, and we're going to grow the wireless business that way. We'll give them a discount. And if AT&T plays this correctly, it will force Verizon into a discount. Even though Verizon's said publicly several times they don't need to bundle and discounting and give stuff away to converge. But if AT&T plays their cards correctly, and maybe they take it up a notch and they get a bit more aggressive, they're going to force Verizon into discounts on the convergence side, right? I wish that, and the reason I say that is because there's going to be some overlap in competition, right? I just wish that these fiber players would be more open to competing in the same areas that one or the other exists. Right now, everybody is, shooting to be first in an area. Like, hey, if who's the fiber player there? Nobody there. Okay, boom, I want to be there first, right? And then that tends to keep other competitors away, which is something I don't really agree with much. There's upside, right? So if a new fiber player comes in, they're a bit cheaper, they offer this, and that, right? They can grow too. There's plenty for everyone, right? So here, for an example, my market, El Paso, Texas, AT&T is the only fiber provider. That's it. We have AT&T and Spectrum. That's all we got. So there's not much competition. A lot of apartment complexes only have one or the other. So there is no competition, right? The most competition we're getting now is from FWA, Verizon and T-Mobile. Outside of that, not much competing going on. So I wish we could get T-Mobile to do some type of deal to bring fiber into the market. There'd be more competition, right? So regardless, a great deal for AT&T. This is going to boost the wireless market share by a landslide, especially in Seattle, Denver, Salt Lake City, and those markets that are moving from Nokia to Ericsson as well. So the wireless network's going to perform better. But man, this is the smartest play I think I've ever seen AT&T do. And they've had some terrible deals. You guys are familiar with the media, the DirecTV, all that mess that happened. So this is the smartest deal I've ever seen them take place in my opinion. I'm sure there's been some other ones, but I think this is one of the most smartest, most disciplined moves I've ever seen AT&T make that'll get them to further scale, bring in an equity partner to remain financially disciplined, and at the same time grow wireless share to a number they could have otherwise very likely not gotten to. Because, like I said, the market is saturated, and AT&T is saying we're going to compete with convergence on the wireless side. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.